The increasing rate of antisocial behavior in the society is getting very worrisome, particularly amongst the youth. The rate at which the youths get involved in armed robbery, kidnapping, rape, murder, so alarming. These abnormal or antisocial behaviors are our focus on Panorama today from the Lagos Network Center. What is responsible for the increase? What role is the society playing? And what should be the duty of the parent? All this when we return. But first, the news making the rounds. My name is Abdullah Mohammed. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The trial of Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki has continued at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, where more documents were tendered and admitted as exhibits. Aliu Tukur has details.
The documents, which comprising of bank letters, checks and bank drafts, were presented by a witness of the prosecution team, Michael Wetkas, an operative of the EFCC. The witness gave account of how Senator Saraki, who is standing trial for alleged false declaration of assets, acquired some properties in Ikoyi, Lagos, through the Presidential Implementation Committee on Landed Properties, and how some of the payments were made through bank drafts and issuance of checks. The witness maintained that the defendant failed to declare some of his properties in his asset declaration form. During cross-examination, the witness stated that the investigation carried out was not prompted by the petition of the Kwara Freedom Network. Counsel to the defense pointed out that the fact that the statement of the witness was written over a month after the charge had been filed should not form part of the evidence.
As I've always felt, that we are in the right place to dispel all the rumors, all the prejudice that has been circulated. And we are hoping that you in the press will report matters fairly. We have here an opportunity to defend ourselves.
Counsel to the defense also urged the tribunal to adjourn the case to enable them to study some of the documents submitted.
We served them these documents in September. So I'm surprised why anybody will say that we are taking them by surprise in April. That's why I deny it. I say that's not the case. Why do they oppose to that? Why is it that they didn't oppose to the admissibility if they know that we are not on a firmer ground?
Adjourning the case to Tuesday the 19th of this month, the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Danladi Umar, said the case will now be a daily affair, which is in accordance with the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, in order to fast-track the trial. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
In reaction to that, Senate President Bukola Saraki says his ongoing trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal would not disturb the activities of the Senate. In a statement by his special advisor, Media and Publicity, Yusuf Olaniyonu, indicated that the Senate President said this after Tribunal Chairman Danladi Umar announced the proceedings of the trial on a whole on a day-to-day basis. The Senate President affirmed that his legislative body, being an institution, would not be affected by the absence of any principle. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmoud Mohammed, has advised magistrates across the country to give priority to criminal matters by ensuring quick dispensation of criminal justice. It was at the commencement of the 2016 refresher course for magistrates on crime trends and law and administration of justice in Abuja. Dela Tubi reports.
Justice Mahmoud Mohammed, who pointed out the importance of magistrates in the administration of criminal justice in the country, posited that 90% of criminal cases commenced from the magistrates' court. He said trial delays remain a major challenge and black mark upon the sanctity of the courts, which must be addressed forthwith. He advised the officers of the Temple of Justice to develop lasting solutions that would improve the administration of justice and reduce delays in court.
On our part, the Nigerian judiciary continues to actively pursue lasting structural and ethical reforms that will better position it to meet the aspirations of average court user for a speedy, affordable, and transparent system of administration of justice.
The administrator, National Judicial Institute organizer of the refresher course, Justice Rosaline Bozimo, said the magistrates play a strategic role in the adjudication of justice in the country.
It is intended to refresh, reinvigorate, and revive your minds in order to reposition you for optimum performance.
206 magistrates across the country are participating in the refresher course. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has inaugurated the Cybercrime Advisory Council led by the National Security Advisor Major General Babagana Monguno. The minister challenged the council to ensure the implementation of the national vision of protecting the society from the scourge of cybercrime. Eduna Justice reports.
Internet penetration is said to be over 95 million. So also is the increase in the risk of cybercrime, ranging from identity theft to privacy invasion, fraudulent electronic transaction, website hacking, and defacement. With the inauguration of these advisory council drawing from public and private sectors, the minister says their task is to help in policy formulation, standardization, technical cooperation, and capacity building.
Considering the borderless nature of cybercrime and emerging cybersecurity threats, the only viable way forward in fighting cybercrime is through multi-stakeholder, interagency, bilateral and multilateral collaboration and cooperation.
Global tracking of cyber attacks indicate that Nigeria is among countries with high cases of software piracy, intellectual property theft, and malware attacks.
Eduna Justice, NTA.
Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun says the nation is leveraging on the experience of other nations towards repositioning the economy to achieve inclusive growth. She stated this after attending the G24 Nations Ministers meeting in Washington, D.C. Finance and Economy correspondent Cliff Ayoze reports.
Nigeria's economic development is at stake as Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun interacts with the World Bank President Jim Yong Kim and others at the Intergovernmental Group of 24 Ministers meeting on international monetary affairs and development. At the meeting, priority is centered on managing the policy space, making economies more resilient to support macroeconomic stability, as well as achieving higher, more balanced and inclusive growth. In the view of the IMF G24, exchange rate flexibility where applicable and reserve buffers could cushioning the impact of external shocks.
Everybody's challenge, every country's challenge was different, but there were some commonalities in terms of response. And one of them, which is very interesting for us, is this investment in infrastructure. Treating infrastructure as a new asset class, this need to grow quality infrastructure so that you can grow your economy. And that, of course, resonates with what this administration has set out to do with the 2016 budget, which is really to invest in infrastructure, because that's what really gives your economy growth. And that's the big difference, I think, of the economic policies of this administration.
Nigeria's Minister of Finance also reflected on the opportunity presented by the nation's present economic challenge.
There's a recognition that this is the time Nigeria needs to take advantage of this downturn to build a more resilient economy so that we won't find ourselves back in this position in future.
From one meeting hall to another, Nigeria's strategic position in Africa continues to draw attention of potential investors. From Washington, D.C., Cliff Ayoze, NTA News.
And back home, a coalition of civil society groups in conjunction with the Nigeria Labour Congress have called on the Ikeja Electric to immediately stop presenting bills to the people when it has failed to provide electricity. The group made the call during a peaceful protest at the headquarters of the Ikeja Electric. Tunde Saiki reports.
The group, under the aegis of Citizens Access to Electricity Initiatives, in collaboration with some civil society groups and the Nigerian Labour Congress, stormed the office of the Ikeja Electric. Their demands include putting a stop to the increase in electricity tariff and the issuance of crazy bills. They are also requesting the recall of 400 sacked workers and the exposure of their workers to electrocution.
What they did in privatization was that if you give it to the private man, electricity will be available to Nigerians. 3 years after, they've given it to the private man. Where is the electricity?
We were actually in the discussion on how to get out of the doldrum when Ikeja Electric Management decided unilaterally, and even up till now, we are yet to know the reason to pull out of the discussion. And for that reason, we are coming back to ask the management to return the 400 Nigerian workers.
Addressing the crowd, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Edward Ajogun, said as long as the protesters conduct themselves in civilized manner, the police will be polite with them. On his part, the head corporate communications, Ikeja Electric, Felix Ofulwe, said most of the issues raised by the coalition group is not peculiar to Ikeja Electric alone, but rather a national one.
I also think it's an attempt to frustrate the efforts of the government in providing steady power supply to Nigerians, because that is why they have targeted Ikeja Electric, because they realize that it's a major economic hub in the country.
The protesters vow that they will continue with their protest until the issues raised are reversed. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Traders and buyers at the popular Mile 12 market have appealed to the Lagos State Governor Akume Ambode to reverse his plan to relocate the market to a Mota community. They made their views known when NTA News visited the market over the state government proposed relocation of the market. Rotimi Oluwagbemi has details.
The plan to relocate Mile 12 market from its present site by the Lagos State government has been generating reactions from Lagosians. Some of the market leaders who spoke to NTA News decried the pronouncement, saying it has crippled their businesses. They appealed to the state government to adopt dialogue with the market stakeholders on how to beef up security and improve social infrastructure within and outside the market.
There should be a solid meeting between the marketers and the government if that plan is in a way.
We are talking of bringing food to the people's table. The Mota is very, very far away.
We are employing people here. People are working here. People are training here. We are law-abiding women. We are law-abiding citizens. And everyone is okay in Mile 12. So if there is room for expansion, there is no point why we cannot have Mile 12 Phase 2, Mile 12 Phase 3, and so on.
Other people reacted to the relocation this way.
We no like make it remove this market too, because now this market they have everybody for this area.
As I old now, for where I go buy, minus I enter this Mile 12, buy, sell, see money.
I'm not even in support of relocating the market because it's helped the poor masses.
Like me now, I'm coming from VI to come and buy some things there. So from here to Mota is very, very far. You know, it's very, very distant. You can see the traffic and everything.
It is not a good thing to us, and it did not favor us much.
For those who are living in Lagos, this place is in the center. It is very easy to come, but Mota is too far.
I'm the governor of Lagos State. If you ensure the Mile market, everybody go enter so far.
Meanwhile, the state government has raised the height of the road demarcation to prevent people from crossing the highway and be compelled to take the pedestrian bridge. This has greatly eased traffic congestion around the Mile 12 market. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
And to analyze the rising cases of antisocial behavior in our society, I have with me Mrs. Deborah Shukoya, who is an educationist and also a family life counselor. Welcome to Panorama this afternoon.
Thank you. I'm glad to be with you.
Let's me get your assessment of the situation as it is today.
The situation is at an alarming rate. Okay. The level of social vices is just rising by the day, damaging the lives of our children, the society, and even the world at large. So we need to do something fast.
Let's look at the major cause of that. Is it the family? Where does it all begin? What is the major cause?
The major cause is the irresponsibility of our parents, of us parents, because irresponsible parenting breeds social vices. And so we need to curb these things as parents. And the only way we can do it is to create time for our children, love them, nurture them the way they should go, and point to them these social vices so that they don't go into them. But the parents are not there today. we're busy doing our own things. The children are on their own. Even in families today, the father is busy doing his own thing, the mother, and so the children are left on their own. So how do we curb these vices in the lives of our children? So that's the major question.
Which way do you think that the family can create that balance so that they will have time for, the children?
It is easy. There's time for everything. You must create time for these children. You must be your children's friends. You must be friendly with them so that they can come to you, ask questions, and relate with you.
But in this case,
yeah.
Both parents are working, especially, if we look at the Lagos situation. The father has gone to his own, workplace, the mother too, and before they get home, it is late.
That's the problem we're facing. And that's why today like in the past, mothers used to do jobs that are around the house. Maybe trading from home or being teachers. My mother was a teacher. And so she had enough time for me to train us as her children before the fathers come to oversee what the mothers are doing. But it is no longer so. Parents are out there pursuing career, pursuing money, pursuing everything for themselves, not for the children. Even though when they make this money, they send these children on vacation, they send them to good schools and everything. But the weightier matters are neglected in the lives of the children. So this is why we're having these social vices, and our children are so involved, and so our children are being damaged by the day because they have no foundation to lay anything upon. The foundation, our parents are parents, because I'm a parent. We have not laid the right foundation for them to lay the blocks upon. So that is why we're having this. But we must find time, create time to be with these children, love them, show them, have time for them, and then they can balance out their lives in the society.
If we all agree that the mother is very important in bringing up, the children,
very important,
and the fact remains that it's also very important for the mother to pursue her own career, do you think that it is possible, or maybe government in conjunction with the private sector will come up with a kind of a way that women will be allowed some kind of hours to come home before,
If the government can achieve that, that will help us a great deal. But I can understand that because the situation in the country today is such that we need to go out to look for this money, in quotes. But if the government can create jobs that will help mothers especially to get back home early, to help the children do their homework, nurse them, teach them, show them the way to go, then it will help the society. But it is not so today. Mothers are pursuing careers, and fathers are not there pursuing money, and so the children are left on their own, and that is the problem we're having. And so I know that the government can do a lot to help us. So government should create avenues where parents can have the time for their children. And if we begin to do that, we'll find out that things will begin to get better. Because these children don't see their parents. We don't see them. They leave in the morning. We leave in the morning and we come back at night. The children would have slept by the time we come back. And so the children are just on their own. And so they just fall headlong into these social vices because there's nobody to point out these things to them.
Are you of the school of thought that the mass media has contributed immensely, to this development?
A lot, yes. The mass media has not helped us at all. Because today, when you switch on the television, what you see is pure pornography. Some of our stations, our television stations, they do nothing but present pure pornography. And our children are there, even the internet, the ICT, our children are there watching how to dance, how to sing. These things are beautiful, but what kind of song are they listening to? What kind of dances are they singing? If you see children, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds today, you tell them, oh, come dance for me. They begin to shake their bodies in a way that you begin to wonder where they learn this thing from, but from the television. That's where they have learned. So the mass media is something that the government must look into too, so that we can curb this anomaly that is ravaging the lives of our children.
Do you think it's also very important for us to bring back this kind of neighbor responsibility responsibility in upbringing the children? Because I remember in those days.
It used to be so in those days.
Of course.
But it is no longer so. Because even today, marriages are breaking down by the day because fathers are on their own, mothers are on their own, children are on their own. So neighbors too are on their own. Nobody's interested in the life of the other man's child. And it is affecting. In nowadays, I mean, you dare not go out and commit anything or do anything adverse because a neighbor is watching you. And the neighbor even had the right to flog you.
Definitely.
You know, but now you dare not touch your neighbor's child. Even in schools today, if the teacher talks to the child the way he or she does not like, she gets back home to report the teacher. The parents come. And it's like, why would you touch my child? Why would you do this to my child? And it's not helping our children. Definitely. It is not at all. I pray that normalcy will come back to the training of our children, but much depends on parents and our family life, the development of our family lives, so that our children will have what they can run with when they leave home. We're not going to go with our children to the universities, to wherever they go to. We won't go with them, but whatever we put in them while they are still at home, because the formative years of a child is between 0 and 7 years. By then, the child is fully formed. So these children will have something to build on if you have put the right things, the right values, family values in them. So when they go out, they'll have not much problems.
Thank you very much, Deborah, for coming on Panorama this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
We hope to have you on another day.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break. Panorama continues shortly. Stay with us.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thanks for staying tuned. You're still watching Panorama from the Lagos Network Center. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has assured residents that the state government will formally sign a memorandum of understanding with investors for the construction of the fourth mainland bridge before the end of May 2016. The governor gave the assurance while speaking at the first quarter of 2016 town hall meeting, the third in the series held at Ikorodu. Nosal Sula reports.
The governor, Akinwumi Ambode, assured residents of the community that once the memorandum of understanding is signed, work would begin on the fourth mainland bridge, which would be a way to boost the economy of Lagos East Senatorial District.
The phase 1 of the Lagos Blue Line Rail is now 85% completed. The contracts for the construction of flyovers in 2 of the state's high traffic zones, Aja Roundabout and Abule Egba Junction, were awarded and work has already started.
The governor added that the intention of his administration is to ensure that no part of the state is left undeveloped, expressing optimism that the Lagos East Senatorial District, which used to be the economic hub of the state in the then western region, will regain its position.
The redevelopment of the fish market to an international fish market and the redevelopment of inner roads in Ibejo and Epe, including all the environs of the East Senatorial District, will commence vigorously.
Ambode also hinted on plans to expand the Ikorodu, Imota, Agbowa, Itoikin Road into 8 lanes under the Build-Own Transfer scheme. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
On to sports update now, and our guide is Amanza Marcus.
It was a mixed grill for Nigerian tennis players on day one of the Tombin Open ITF circuit holding at the Package B section of the Abuja National Stadium. Nigeria's Sylvester Emmanuel defeated Luka Makaroshi of Switzerland 6-3, 6-4 in round 1 to progress to the second round. In another Monday game, Joseph Ime of Nigeria lost 7-5, 6-2 to Simeon Russia of Switzerland, who avenged the loss of compatriot Makaroshi.
If you work hard in this game, you have nothing to lose, you know? So you just come in the game and you just come in the court and play your best tennis.
The condition is not the same as Europe because it's hotter. Like in Switzerland now it's like 10-15 degrees and even today it's snowing.
President Nigeria Tennis Federation Sani Ndanusa hopes the competition will improve the rankings of Nigerian tennis players.
So this tournament is even beyond tennis because bringing 25 players from 25 countries of this world just means that these people, they will go back with a positive impression of Nigeria.
After claiming his maiden PGA Tour title,